what if we told you everyone and anyone can be rich? It's as fascinating as it sounds, and it's not like some chit fund scheme. Even in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki has written the difference between the rich man and poor man is a poor man works for money, whereas the rich man makes money work for them. हम हमारी डेली लाइफ में भी ये नोटिस करते हैं. The rich gets richer. Why is it so? Because they follow financial habits which help them sustain and grow. The principles, conventions, regular behaviors, and rules of conduct that people rely on to get through their daily financial lives are known as financial habit and norms. They support the capacity to make sound financial decisions and act rapidly when faced with difficulties. Let's understand today's expert importance and need for good financial habits in today's episode of Financial Wellbeing 101.
Hi, my name is Neeraj Bahal. I'm an advisor based out of South Bombay. I've been in the industry for more than a decade now. The reason I'm in this field is primarily that I like interacting with people. So I have worked with market research organizations like ORG-MARG and AC Nielsen, and post that I completed my chartered accountancy, and there I realized that I was not, number crunching was not exactly what I was meant to do, and 2009 onwards, I started my own financial firm, and since then we have been serving clients. Throughout the journey, we have served more than 250 families, and we have more than 600 clients, and it has been a wonderful journey. The definition of wealth is very different for each individual and has changed over a period of time. I'll give you a simple example, and this is my personal example. I was born and brought up in South Bombay, but in a very low middle class level. That time my father, for him, wealth creation, surviving was more important than creating wealth. So there was nothing as such ke wealth kya hoti hai. So the definition of wealth for him was very different, and he raised us. When I have to give it to my son, my definition of wealth is very different. What I want to kind of give him. I did SSC, I want to send him in an IB. It changes over a period of time. So according to me, wealth is something which keeps changing, and the definition is different for everybody. That's where your satisfaction level rises. I mean, if you're satisfied with number of bank accounts, gold, jewelry, real estate, there is no end to it. Sometimes you are satisfied with the basic needs also. So wealth creation is very different for each and everyone. From there the wealth creation starts. कि एक बार ये हो गया, so definitely the path is finish your basics, finish your needs, finish your comforts, finish your luxuries even. आप जब wealth की परिभाषा बोल रहे हो, when you say the definition of wealth, you rightly said कि wealth is something which is created, जो अमीर लोग create करते हैं, but वो अमीर बने कैसे? Nobody was born rich. Somebody and whatever lineage they are from, even the Ambani, somebody started from scratch, and somebody took that risk with the investable surplus they had. If they earn 100 rupees in say 1960, we are talking about 100 रुपया कमाते थे, वो उस 10 रुपए को उन्होंने कहाँ यूटिलाइज किया और कैसे यूटिलाइज किया, determined how they made money out of it. And wealth creation primarily comes into picture when A, your needs are satisfied, 2, your luxuries are taken care of, your comforts are taken care of. उसके बाद कुछ बचता है तब आप सोचते हैं हाँ चलो भाई wealth बनाया जाए. हम middle income में, especially the day and age in we are right now, because of the home loans, because of the lifestyle which we live in, even in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities, the lifestyle or the expenses, the inflation, मतलब आज अगर आप inflation you counted at 7%, to achieve something over and above that, one is a task. उसके बाद आप wealth create करना मतलब ऐसा है कि आप कितना risk ले सकते हो. So for a middle income segment, it is a little tough because one, they are stuck with their day-to-day needs. So it's like first they fulfill the basic necessities. पहले रोटी, कपड़ा और मकान करते करते एक बार हो जाता है. Then your child's education, then the goals which you have, then your retirement, and then you kind of think about wealth. And then the risk factor comes into picture. The more you take risk, the more at what point of time you take that kind of risk with the small amount which you have will determine how you will create wealth. So yes, it is possible. As I told you about my own example, so my father was not rich, but tomorrow my son will say that I am rich. I just bought a house in Colaba. I started my journey, I never thought I'll buy a house in South Bombay, that too in Colaba, where I come from. It was tough. मैं नहीं बोल सकता कि मेरा बाप अमीर था, बट ऑफ कोर्स मेरा बेटा जब बड़ा होगा he'll say हाँ भाई मेरा बाप तो मेरे को अच्छे स्कूल में भेजा and he is doing my foreign education, मेरा बाप तो अमीर है. But for that wealth has a very different connotations. One, you have to have that kind of patience. You have to allow your money to grow. Problem is, आप एक बार एक चीज़ के लिए assign कर दो ना एक चीज़, उसके बाद उसको फिर छेड़ो मत. The more you tinker with your investments or whatever you have done, may it be a PPF, may it be an FD, may it be mutual funds, may it be direct equity, wherever you invest, don't tinker. Till the time that you don't find another avenue which is better than that and you're sure about it, you have to stay in the game to create that kind of money. Because the more you stay, the more you will be earning. Secondly, discipline. Discipline is very, very important in our industry and in my profession. I've seen clients who have gone through this journey, but somewhere when they see a sizable profit, they say, "अरे यार मैं घर खरीद लेता हूँ." But then they forget that wealth creation वाला point. As I said earlier also, the basic goals achieve करने में इतना time चला जाता है, then they don't think about wealth. And once they think about wealth, they don't take it that seriously कि I have to create that kind of wealth to pass on to the next generation or to enjoy my lifestyle going forward. They then see that money and they kind of invest in or they spend in a way which is not required, and that is where the problem lies. Across the generations, we have kind of seen that change. Earlier, we used to earn, we used to invest. जो भी बच रहा था, उसमें से we used to spend. Now we are in a situation where there is earning first, then people spend, and then whatever is left, they come up to us and they say, चलो ये है, अभी इसमें से आप कुछ बना दो हमारे लिए और पैसा बना दो. That is not wealth creation. I mean, that defeats the whole purpose of the exercise where we have to kind of think about ways, and we don't know whether that's the right spending or not. Nobody is aware about it. So wealth creation becomes very tough for the segment, the middle income level, unless and until they are disciplined. And definitely they are different, because here wealth creation happens only once your goals are satisfied. If I concentrate कि ठीक है आपको wealth create करना है, there is no definition of wealth. I mean, it can be chopper also which I can buy. So that is what I want to create in terms of wealth. But then when I start that journey, it's very easy, if there is no goal attached to it, to digress and spend on things which are not required. You kind of spend. So wealth creation in that segment becomes very difficult. So that's why goal-based investment works wonders in the way that you have aligned. ठीक है, I have a kid, I have to send him to a decent college going forward or education abroad. And that's where once you are aligned towards it, people don't digress and then they stick to it. And that's where saving investing is definitely different from wealth, because saving investing is a nascent stage which you start with. Once you are comfortable with the stage, once you are disciplined, once you have the patience, then you go to the next level, which is wealth creation. But as I said, first your needs, then your luxuries, then your comforts are taken care of, then you have the liberty to take that risk and try for that wealth creation. When you know that you are earning a certain amount, rather than spending first, make a budget, see where you stand. Once you ascertain where you are, the second step would be to ascertain when you want to reach. Once these two are fixed, कि ठीक है, this is where I stand, this is where I want to go with the family, and this is what I want to achieve, then you kind of lay down the path. When I say path, then you choose products or you choose options which you would exercise to achieve that kind of goal. And most of the times in our experience, people have overshot their goals. Once you have that kind of discipline, once you have that kind of patience, if I say, ठीक है, for my son's education I need 50 lakhs, today I have 12 years in my hand, and if I decide, ठीक है, I'll invest an X amount and I'll reach that goal, people overshoot because they are disciplined. So how emotionally attached to your goals determine how well you will perform. The assets will definitely perform. You put in equity, you put in any product which beats inflation, you are bound to achieve that kind of figure which you need to reach. In India, primarily, which has been seen is, it is something as a legacy which you pass on to the next generation. It is not something definitely you enjoy, not that you don't enjoy, but once you finish your needs, your comfort and your luxuries take care of most of your wealth. And then the investable surplus, that where your money will multiply and वो पैसे को खींचेगा, तब आप रिच बन गए, आपका वेल्थ क्रिएट हो गया, आपकी अगली जनरेशन उसको एंजॉय करेगी या वो खराब भी करेगी. I mean, that's something which you don't predict, but that is what we anticipate कि ठीक है, somebody will take care of that going forward. Take informed decisions is what something which we've seen that is lacking. जब कोई पैसा कमाता है ना तो बहुत ईजी होता है उसको इन्फ्लुएंस करना. फर्स्ट ही विल गो टू हिज फैमिली, फिर फ्रेंड्स आ गए, फिर आपका नेबर आ गया, फिर आपके ट्रेन के ट्रैवल करने वाले या कॉर्पोरेट एम्प्लॉय हो गए तो आपके ऑफिस वाले आ गए. एंड देयर इज सो मच नॉइज अराउंड, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू नॉट गेट डिस्ट्रैक्टेड. So that is something which is very important when you have the money and you earn that kind of money. So one, when you make those decisions of where to put your money, it has to be aligned to something, has to achieve something. अगर आप randomly डाल रहे हो, it will never grow, you will never be able to grow, or it will not be optimum utilization of the resources or the investable surplus which you have. So आप पहले तो आप 100 रुपया कमा रहे हो तो भैया देखिए कि आप खर्चा कितना कर रहे हो. You see your loans, you kind of look at what your credit card spendings are. Are they in control? Are you leading a life which is a decent life without compromising? कि आप ऐसा नहीं कि आप चल के जा रहे हो ऑफिस. You kind of live your lifestyle, but you see which lifestyle you are comfortable with. Once you are certain in your groundwork is done, then you take a call कि ठीक है ये पैसा है, how best can it be utilized? And then when you do your research thoroughly, take an informed decision. And once you take an informed decision, don't back out of it. The day you back out or the day you question your own decisions is the day where the downfall starts.